Do you have that burning desire to feel like you have it all together? And are you wanting a more organized home, but you're so overwhelmed and you just don't know where to start? Well, I'm going to share today how to get you feeling a little bit better and like you really do have it all together. I'm Elyse Metzger, and welcome to Tame the Chaos. Okay, it's the beginning of the year, and we all have our goals, our intentions. What are we letting go for the year or from the past year? What are we inviting into our lives? What kind of lives do we want to live? We're all working towards a goal. And the new year brings a fresh start to our goals, how we want to live, how we want a better life, how we want to be more organized. So, whenever I talk to somebody about organizing, usually it's like, oh, what do you do for a living? Da, da, da. So, I say I'm an organizer and I get one of two answers. So, one of them, the first one is, oh my gosh, I need you in my life. I need help. I want to be organized. And then the second answer is, wow, I would love to do that. That would be like a dream job for me. Okay, so if you're in the first group of, oh my goodness, I need you in my life, I need organizing help, then this is perfect for you. This will give you a head start in your mind so you can really prepare and you can inside and out feel like you have it together and really have it together. And then the second group, if you're an organized person, if you think organized, then this is actually a really good reminder for you because I am a perfectionist and sometimes I put a lot of pressure on myself to be organized. So, anyway, if you're organized, if you're not organized, if you feel like you need to have it together, it's the new year, it's a new mindset, then this is for you. So it's the beginning of the year, and everyone has their intentions, what they're going to let go from the previous years, what they're going to invite into their lives, getting all of their goals straight. It's a fresh start. We are going to start fresh in the new year. And some of those things might be organization. But the problem is that we don't have a lot of time. There is only 24 hours in a day, and in that time, we have to care for children, care for ourselves, manage our household, go pick up the kids, go drop off the kids. We have social lives. We need self care. We need to make the dinner, breakfast, lunch. We need to sleep. Oh, we have work too. Forgot about that. But we have a lot of things. We're really busy. We don't have time to set aside a day, 3 hours to like clean out our closet, our kitchen, our pantry, whatever. It's really time consuming. It's hard to carve out time to actually set up systems that work for us. So, anyway, I can attest to being overwhelmed and being on time constraints. Okay, real example from a real professional organizer here. So, when I get really busy, like with projects, running a business, and with my son, with managing the household, same as everyone else, we just have obligations. When I get really busy, after I like start little projects around the house, I leave them. I leave them. Like, for example, oh my gosh, I should take a picture of this, but in my son's playroom, I'm reorganizing his charging station. He just got like a Nintendo Switch. Like he has a lot of like a little drone and all of these like electronics. And so it just drives me crazy with all of the cords everywhere. So I am reorganizing his little area where he charges everything. But I ran out of time the other night. And so I just left everything as is. So anyway, it's just sitting on the side corner. And then just in my house, there will be little projects on the side. And yes, I am an organizer and my house is not perfectly organized. So I leave things like even in the kitchen, I'll leave things on the counter because I don't want to forget about it. I don't want to just shove it in the cabinet because it just like makes me crazy. It makes me like off balanced if I know that like something's not organized. So I'll just leave it out instead. So anyway, this creates mini bombs around my house. I kind of like let it go because visually, like my mind sees it and I'm like, oh, I have to do that. I have to do that. And so finally I'll do it. But anyway, that's what happens to me. I'm sure that it happens to a lot of people, that people just get overwhelmed and they can't deal with it. And some people, I've heard many times people like, I just shoved it in this closet just to get it out of the way. I'm like opposite. But anyway, that's just a little bit of inside information on a professional organizer's home. I can totally relate to everyone being busy. So, and I can relate on this topic. So, when I get really busy and have like 1,000 things going on, I will admit that my house looks like mini bombs went off in little corners. Okay, so that point is that I'm a professional organizer. Even as a pro, I procrastinate. I leave projects half done, but I'm okay with it. And here's why. Number one, expectations. Lower them. Lower your expectations. Your house is not going to be a Pinterest perfect house. Even those Pinterest perfect houses are not perfect. It's just a picture, it's just a corner. We all know this. Social media, the internet can make up whatever story they want. But the truth is that we live in our homes and they're not going to be perfect. I mean, that's the expectation. I think sometimes too, we think about like, our neighbor's house, our mom's house, our family's house, or some house that our friends, when we were kids, we went into a house and we thought it was like amazingly organized or whatever. There's some sort of home that you have in your mind that you just go in and you're like, wow, this place is really organized. And you strive to have something like that. Also, sometimes we see, well, I know I see it just because I'm in organizing, but on Instagram, you see these like beautiful pantries with all like glass jar canisters and they're all decanted and it's so perfect that like when the kids come home, they put their backpack in like this nice little hook. They have so much space in their house and just everything goes where it's supposed to go. Like, no, that is like not real life. So cut the expectations. And these expectations also go into like how much pressure you put on yourself. I know that I'm like type A and I put a lot of pressure on myself, but really when I look at my expectations, like, okay, well, right now we're living in a rental home and I am not super happy with it. Like, we can't really do a lot with it. And my expectations, I intentionally think to myself, like, okay, well, we're not going to be here forever, number one. And then number two, it's fine. The thing is, it's my house and I organize it like this. And I'm grateful to have like all of our health. I'm grateful to have everything else. It's just expectations. I know I just kind of went down like a little rabbit hole there, but it's expectations. Like if you think that your refrigerator, which by the way is like the number one thing that's like constantly revolving that has like the biggest turnover in your house is your refrigerator. So don't ever expect that to be like perfectly organized. It's not going to be. So anyway, your expectations of like having a perfect home, a perfect like entryway when you come in that's like grand or beautiful, and maybe this isn't everyone's expectations. Maybe you're already there and you don't expect your house to be perfect. That's fine. But there might be some other expectation that you have of yourself that isn't really realistic and may not even serve you. Just let go of the things that you can't control. For example, my son has his playroom and I set it up at first for him to have like his playtime and also a little desk for him to do his homework. And from being in many homes with families with kids and having my own child who has homework, the kids usually just end up doing their homework at the kitchen table or the countertop, which is totally fine. I love it because everyone's spending time together. The kitchen, I say, is the heart of the home. And, they're doing their homework with you. I love it. So, this year or last year when he first started first grade, I came to a point like, okay, he's not going to do his homework in the playroom. And so he's going to do it on the countertop. And so I got this cute little basket and I just put his homework in that basket. And I am a person who really likes a clear countertop. I know a lot of people do. And so if your children are doing homework, you're cooking, things just end up on the countertop. It also tends to be a drop zone. So just get a basket. I've been in a few homes also that do the same thing, and I have set up systems for other homes to do the same thing, and it works beautifully. But the thing here is expectations. Like your children are going to go in this desk area and do their homework. No, they're going to do it on the countertop. So work with it, work with it. Like work with it and just get a basket, throw it in there when you can't stand the countertops with papers all over it, and just put it in that basket. And even as an organizer, I love bins. I really do. But at this point in my life, I do not need any more bins, but I needed a low profile basket to put these papers in, and I wanted a pretty one because I wanted to love it. So the thing here is expectations. I expected my son to do his homework somewhere else, but he's not. And I need him to also do his homework. So I need it to be where he's going to do it. So I need the homework to be on the countertop at this point, and I am working with it. There's going to be homework on the countertop. That's fine because it works with him. It works with his routine. It's working. So to go with it, I just got a little basket to put on the countertop. And this could happen in a lot of from my experience, a lot of moms with younger children, even older children, the challenges here are the countertops, the entryway, like whether or not you enter through a garage or a front door or whatever. These tend to be like the points because this is where we are. We're always in our kitchen, the heart of the home. We're always in our kitchen. We're always coming in and out of our house and we see these things and it's like, wow, like really overwhelming to our brain because we see visually all of these things like in the entryway, shoes, jackets, like sunscreen, the dog leash, like just mail, like my husband's shoes, all of these things, and it's just chaotic. The second point that I wanted to make is function over aesthetics. I mean, you can have function with aesthetics, but focus on function first. What works for you, your habits, your family's habits, whatever works for you is what you're going to do. Less is more. And what I mean by less is more is people think, maybe not so much anymore because organizing is more of a thing, but more bins will not make you more organized. It'll only add to the chaos. And that goes for everything else too. When you have more clothes that you don't wear, that adds to the chaos. The more there is, the more decisions you have to make, the more your brain has to think, and the more your brain gets like decision fatigue. That truly is really a thing. And just the more things you have to look at, your brain is like trying to process just everything in general, the less is better. Also, like routines, maybe you can cut one thing out of your routine that you don't really need. Since it is the beginning of the year, it's a perfect time to kind of review like last year, what was good, what wasn't working, what was working. The less you have, the easier it's going to be to manage. And that goes with our stuff, our routines, our plans, jam packing our schedule can be really overwhelming and like fry our brains sometimes. I know at least for me it does. I'm very like visually oriented. I'm an organizer. I'm very sensitive to like what's around me. And a lot of us are, whether or not we like realize it or not, like what's in our environment. The more things in our environment and our space we see, the more like clutter it adds to our brain. Marie Kondo says anything that brings you joy, you keep. And of course, I totally agree with that. Or anything that's really functional that you need to keep. But some things that you just don't use and don't find that you need, get rid of it. Just get rid of it. You don't need it. Less is more. It's easier to manage. Simplify. I love simple. Actually, this year, one of my intentions is to simplify. More specifically, like my plans. my schedule. I want to simplify because I don't want to feel so stressed and overwhelmed all the time. So, less is more. So let's recap. So you want to feel like you have it more together. You want to feel a little bit more organized. You are not a Pinterest house. You just need your house to work for you and your lifestyle. Don't compare, be easier on yourself and make little adjustments where you can. Let go of what you can't control. If your son's doing homework on the countertop, work with it instead of thinking it's so challenging. And then, second, function first. Think about function. Don't think about the way it looks, think about how you use it. Think outside the box. Not all of your spices have to go together. It is nice. Those are things that need to go together. But snacks, like I have after school snacks for my son, and I keep them in like a basket in the entryway closet. Not in my kitchen, but in my entryway closet because I can grab it really quickly. It's easier than picking out snacks every time I pick them up, just easier that way. And it's in my entryway closet with like other stuff, which is kind of weird, but I don't know, makes it easy. And then third, less is more. And that goes for our actual physical items in our house. And it goes for routines. Maybe we can cut out something that we don't really need, that saves us time that we could be doing for something else, using for something else. So less is more. The big thing here is though expectations. Be really easy on yourself and take it slow and do little micro habits. Our little micro habits, the little things that we do every day really add up. And if we do them enough and think in our mind, we think like an organized person, we will be organized. So maybe start with these things, with some of these things, and see what you can do in your house. So here's my question for you. Two questions, actually, something to reflect on and something to act on. So, the first thing is, what can you let go of in your house that you can't control? Something that does bother you, but really you can't control it, and it's probably won't change no matter what you do. For example, if your kid comes home from school and just throws his backpack in the living room and takes off his shoes in the living room, he doesn't take off his shoes in the entryway and put them in the closet. Okay, that you can't let go of that or you can't control that. You can't keep yelling at him for his shoes, or I don't know if you yell or whatever. You just can't be mad at him for doing that. So maybe create a spot in the living room to place the backpack and shoes. Okay, it's not by the entryway, by the door or the garage or whatever, but there is a designated spot for the shoes and the backpack. And then the second question, what is something small that you can adjust in your house? For example, maybe your bathroom. Maybe you take a long time to get ready and you feel like really disastrous in the morning or something when you're getting ready. What's something that you can kind of like reconfigure that would help you get ready a little bit quicker? Think outside the box. There's so many examples, but basically this week, look at something that you can't control that you can let go of. So when you let go of it, you look at it and you're okay with it and work with it. Work with things that you can't control. Also, what is one little adjustment that you can make to make it better? And it could be that something that you can't control. What a little adjustment can you do to work with it to make it better? Work with that system to make it a better system and something that won't give you anxiety or overwhelm. Okay, well, I hope that this helped. I know it's not the typical like 10 step how to organize your kitchen, but it really gets you in the mindset and gets you started thinking like an organized person. And you know what? Being organized isn't always like adding a bin and label. It's about how you think and how you set up your space to work with your lifestyle. So I hope this helped. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. If you have any questions, my email, a way to contact me is in the show notes. And follow me on Instagram. Follow this podcast for upcoming new podcasts published. I can't wait to record the next one. See you soon.